Hey guys, we're here with our Week 7 battle of NPL Season 3, and this week we take on the Long Island Golducks and their coach Trevor, aka SheerForce. Make sure you guys go check Trevor out in the description down below. He's an awesome dude, a terrific battler. He's had a very good season so far. He's 4-2 just like us, and he's the owner of the NPL, so definitely go make sure you guys go show him some love over on his channel. I believe he's close to 500, if not just past 500. I'm not sure the exact number off the top of my head, but it definitely, or that's subscribers, by the way. I guess I never really said that. But anyways, make sure you guys go check out Trevor's content. But real quick, we will go over what Trevor decided to bring to this match. He has Seismitoad, Latios, Mega Pinsir, Magearna, Chestnut, and Yuxi. So pretty much a team I was expecting. I'm really surprised to not see Crawdon, however. I was kind of expecting that instead of more so Yuxi. But other than that, this is pretty much what I was expecting to see. Now, I'm in a scenario where I don't lose much by leading off with Volcanion. I'm in a good position to do some serious damage to pretty much everything besides the Latios because I do carry HP Grass. So that is going to be my lead for this match. You guys can see my mouse. There it is. Haha. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with Pompeii, my Volcanion, as he is going to go ahead and lead off with his Magearna. Now, obviously, Magearna does not want to take a Fire Blast, and so I'm going to go ahead and just click Fire Blast anyways, predicting him to want to switch out into either Latios or Seismitoad, but either way, that's going to be some serious chip damage. It's way too early to be predicting something like that, so I didn't want to go for it. So Fire Blast is going to do a decent chunk to the Seismitoad, and I'm just going to go ahead and fire off an HP Grass to gauge the damage. I saw that he wasn't Life Orb, or I'm sorry, not Life Orb, Leftovers, so that might have potentially made him be Rindo Berry, so I kind of wanted to pop that early. But he's actually going to go into his Pinsir to be able to take that HP Grass, no problem. Now, he's going to go ahead and switch into his Yuxi, so Trev with the triple switch there, which is interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and go into my Mesprit on the switch, or as a switch into Pinsir. We're going to go ahead and trade rocks. We're both going to get our stealth rocks up, which will, I mean, it's a little bit concerning because I don't have removal this week, but his only form of removal is Defog Gladio, so if he wants to do that, then he'll get rid of them on my side too. Now, I'm in a position where I can just simply knock off and get rid of something's item. I'm going to go ahead and knock off the Chestnut's Kibia Berry, which I believe was for the Landorus-i Sludge Wave, so it truly stands up to it. And I'm going to knock that off. I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Wave this Chestnut just because there's no reason not to, really. I could potentially Toxic it with Volcanion later, but if I'm in with Volcanion, chances are I'm just going to click Fire Blast. So I'm going to go ahead and T-Wave the Chestnut, and he's going to get paralyzed twice as I'm able to get into my Landorus cleanly, which is unfortunate, but I mean, there's nothing we could do about it. It's Pokemon. It happens a lot. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, knowing that I don't think he'll stay in with the Chestnut, I'm going to go ahead and knock off something else's item, which just so happens to be the Yuxi's Culver Berry. So he has a really similar Yuxi set to my Mesprit set, which is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into my Mesprit as he clicks Zen Headbutt, which is not going to do very much to my physically defensive Mesprit that resists the hit. And he's going to go ahead and switch out. He's going to go back into his Chestnut. Now, I'm in a position where I literally just click Signal Beam, get some chip onto the incoming Chestnut, which is probably what's going to happen. But either way, it's going to be chip versus something. Now, what I can do is I can go into my Scizor, predicting him to... I honestly thought he would just click, like, Seed Bomb or Drain Punch, but he actually just sets up a Leech Seed, which is fine. He'll start getting some passive recovery, and we're in a position where we could potentially U-turn out on him. Now, here I was a little bit conflicted. I could have potentially roosted predicting the Spiky Shield, but what I ultimately did was just decided to U-turn and scout what he wanted to do. He does click the Spiky Shield, so we are going to take a little bit of unnecessary damage, but that is okay. This Chestnut's becoming a bit of an issue. It's pretty much at full health, and I've lost a lot of HP to this thing. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and roost, knowing that he can't do much to me. He's going to get paralyzed. I'm not sure what move he went for, but it's unfortunate. Again, there's nothing we can do about it, which just sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and roost this turn, predicting him to want to Spiky Shield. And then after his Spiky Shield goes up, I know I can safely U-turn next turn, but he actually just clicks Leech Seed. Obviously, that'll fail because I'm already Leech Seeded, so shout out to turn 14 being a useless turn. This turn, I am going to go ahead and click U-turn, though, because I don't think he'll click Spiky Shield. I do get a crit on the U-turn, which ultimately is not going to make much of a difference, and I can go into my Sylveon and pressure this thing out with a Hyper Voice. He's going to click Spikes, which is a little scary now, because now he's beginning to Hazard Stack me, and again, I have no removal this week, so that could be potentially game-breaking. Projecting him to want to go out into his Magearna, I'm going to go ahead and Baton Pass as I can get a clean switch into either Volcanion or Landorus, whatever I decide would be better in this scenario. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and decide it's going to be Volcanion, though. I am going to take a lot of hazard damage, which is unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. Now, I'm in a weird position where I could potentially Toxic something incoming, or I can just click Fire Blast and get some damage off onto something. I believe I just clicked Fire Blast to get damage onto something. It's going to do quite a bit to the Latios as I crit him. It does about 41%, which is a little unfortunate for Trevor. Again, it sucks. But Latios is at about half now. He reveals that he's leftovers, which means he's not a Z Crystal move, which will be good for us to know. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Sylveon. Seeing leftovers, I was predicting sub Calm Mind, but he actually just straight up clicks Calm Mind. He still could have had sub, I don't know. But I know that Hyper Voice pressures him out. And I'm in no position where I can Baton Pass on the incoming Magearna, so I just have to click Hyper Voice. It'll still do a decent chunk to the Magearna. It does about 21%, which reveals to me that he's not AV. He's probably not a Spadef set, which means he could be an offensive set. So I'm in a position where I have to switch out because I can't take a Flash Cannon. And he can Volt Switch on me. I could have potentially gone into Landorus, but if he didn't click Flash Cannon, I didn't want to take unnecessary damage with Landorus. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Mesprit, who is a little bit expendable at this point. It has done its job, and he's going to go back into his Pinsir. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and sack off Mesprit. There was a small chance I lived this hit anyways, and potentially got an T-Wave off, but that's okay. So he's going to click Return and kill off my Mesprit. So Trevor draws First Blood. He's going to kill my Mesprit for the first kill of the game. And I'm going to go ahead and bring back in my Scizor, knowing that I can live pretty much any hit from this Pinsir. Now, I'm in a position where he's going to have to return me multiple times and pray for a crit. But because Trevor, knowing that he doesn't want to play this game, and I don't either, I'm going to go ahead and keep Roost Stalling him until he Swords Dances. Knowing that I can live a +2 return and I can and then I can revenge him with HP Rock. I wanted to be at full health for this Scizor. That was the point of trying to Roost Stall that. So I know I could take this hit just in case I was in a scenario where I overpredicted or something like that. I do get a crit with the HP Rock. That did not matter. I was doing about 70% minimum, and he was at like 54%, so I doubt that mattered. He's going to go into his Latios. Now, I could have potentially Bullet Punched for more damage, but I just wanted to U-turn in case he wanted to make an over-prediction and set up a Calm Mind or something like that, predicting me to Bullet Punch. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to U-turn out and get some pivot. But he does kill off my Scizor with HP Fire from Latios. I can go into my Sylveon at this point and threaten him out with a Hyper Voice. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to click Baton Passes, predicting him to go into his Magearna one more time, and I can go into either Volcanion or Landorus and put some serious offensive pressure onto him. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Landorus, and knowing that I scare him out with an Earth Power, I'm going to go ahead and click Knockoff, predicting either Latios or Uxie to come in, because obviously they will be immune to my Earth Power because of Levitate. So I'm in a position where Knockoff will kill this Uxie, or I'm sorry, not Knockoff will kill this Uxie, but we'll bring it down to the point where any hit will be able to kill it. Now, I did some serious calculate here to make sure that Psychic killed, and I did confirm that Psychic did indeed kill with my set, even if he was like a full Spadef set. Just because I didn't want to take additional Life Orb recoil with Knockoff. So right here, he goes into his Seismitoad. I'm going to click Earth Power here. And that is the reason that because if I can get Chip on this Seismitoad, Tyrantrum puts in some serious work, and whatever Tyrantrum doesn't kill, Sylveon and Volcanion can clean up. I'm in a position where I could, if I set up with Tyrantrum, I could potentially win the game depending on his sets. And the only thing stopping me from doing that was the fact that the Seismitoad was so healthy. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and Earth Power him to get some chip damage and just sack off my Landorus. So Earth Power is going to do a good chunk to the Seismitoad. I almost called it Frogadier for some reason. But he clicks Earth Power here and over predicts a little bit, which obviously my Landorus will be immune to. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off one more Earth Power just to reassure that Tyrantrum can clean this game up. But he actually clicks Earth Power one more time, really over predicting, which is unfortunate. The Seismitoad is not going to be able to do any damage to my Landorus. Now, I'm in a position where I can click Knockoff, because just in case he wants to go into Latios here or go into Magearna here, I know that, like, if... let me start the sentence over. I can click Knockoff here, knowing that it's the safe play. It kills Seismitoad, and it either does it potentially kills Latios, or it's extra chip damage on Magearna, knocks off its leftovers, and then I can revenge it with Earth Power. Basically, he's going to have to make a play where he baits me to go for Earth Power, and goes into Latios cleanly for him to win this game at this point. So predicting him to want to go into Latios now, or potentially Magirna, or even if he went into Chestnut, I could have clicked Psychic and killed him as well. I'm going to go ahead and click Knockoff, as this turn he does indeed go into the Latios, and a Knockoff will be able to kill the Latios. So Latios is going to go down to the Knockoff. I'm going to knock off his leftovers, and Latios will drop. That's a second kill for Landorus this week. Now he's going to bring in his Magirna. Obviously, I've revealed Psychic, so he knows that he can't bring in Chestnut, and Seismitoad will die to rocks. So I'm going to click Earth Power, and that will be able to cure the Magirna. It will be able to kill the Magirna, and Magirna will go down. Seismitoad will come in. It will die to rocks, so Mesprit is technically credited with that kill. The only mon he has left is the Chestnut, which will die to a Psychic. And it is paralyzed. Like, Chestnut won't be able to win him this game, even if Landorus went down somehow. I still had Sylveon and Volcanion in the back. But Psychic is going to be able to drop the Chestnut. We are going to take a 4-0 victory over the Long Island Golducks. A pretty hacksy match in my favor, I will admit. Parahacks and there was a couple of crits. I wouldn't say there was any important crits, but definitely crits that made a difference, like just him being at lower health than he probably should have been. The Parahacks on Chestnut sucked. I know that much. But I was in a position where I could have potentially cleaned up with Tyrantrum anyways, and it was a good position where I could sack off Landorus cleanly and just go into Tyrantrum and put in some serious work. But nonetheless, we are going to take a 4-0 victory over Trevor. Make sure you guys go check Trevor out. He is a terrific friend of mine, definitely one of my best friends in the Pokemon format. He's even the reason why I'm in the NPL. He sent out an application, I applied for Season 2, I went through my tournament. And Trev really liked what he saw, so he added me to Season 2. I went 10-2 in Season 2, and we're trying to go at least 10-2 in Season 3 and hopefully win our way to an NPL title. So, I mean, I honestly can't thank Trevor enough. He's definitely been a very good friend to me in the format. And it sucks that this is technically my second career battle against him. I battled him in the ITL and unfortunately lost 2-0. And not in particular, like, I wouldn't say I played bad in that. I definitely made one huge misplay, but I don't think that misplay particularly won him the game in the ITL, but definitely Trevor nonetheless played way better than me. So I know that Trevor can beat me. It's not like I'm in a position... I think me and Trevor are equally matched is what I'm trying to say. And it just so happened that Hax was on my side during this match, and it sucks that my first battle in the NPL against Trevor turned out like this. But nonetheless, Trevor's a very good friend of mine, and I encourage you guys to go check out his content. 4-3 is definitely something to be proud of for him. That's what he will drop to after this loss. He's still in a very good position to make playoffs and make it very deep into the playoffs and potentially take an NPL title of his own, which honestly I would be happy for him if he did. If it's not me, I'm glad Trev could potentially do it. And so I'm definitely excited for him, and I think he's definitely got a good season so far, but it's definitely not over. I definitely believe in Trevor. I think he could do well in this season. But enough of my speech. I definitely make sure you guys go check out Trevor if you haven't already. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Next week, we take on Mr. Pateradactle, not Pateradactle. It's Pateradactle, the coach of the Sin City Staraptors. So definitely make sure you guys look out for that battle next week. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, a like and a subscription would be much appreciated. And I will see you guys for our team builder for Week 8 of the NPL when we take on the Sin City Staraptors and their coach, Pat. I will see you guys then. Later.